Hey, howdy, old Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, your Senior Bowl Day 2 wrap-up. It is your dashing host, Chris, and my good friend and co-host, Jeff, the Riz Risden. How are you doing, brother?
I am sunburned, my friend.
I had my balaclava on today. I was in good shape.
I can't feel my face.
I'm red as hell, dude.
Yeah. We bought sunscreen today.
Yeah.
You never know, but we did.
I plastered myself with aloe this morning, and I will do it again this evening. All right, so it's been a great day. It's been beautiful. This is the best weather in Senior Bowl history. No hiding in hotel rooms. We've got...
It's been wonderful.
For those who've been watching, you've seen, I don't even know, it's like 10, 15 player interviews. Who knows? We're getting a bunch more tomorrow morning. So you have got a direct contact to the players here at the Senior Bowl, and we'll have those more and more interviews coming. For those that saw Kingsley Suamataia.
Suamataia.
Suamaiata.
Suamataia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that might be it. Anyway,
he said it very well.
Yeah. I did. I said it in the interview well, and then I killed his first name, Kingsley. Panay's cousin.
Yes.
Yeah. Talks about the family. What a great interview. The interviews today were both days were absolutely fantastic. Definitely go check those out if you want to learn about some of these key prospects. All of them potential Lions.
Yeah. We gotta spotlight the last guy that we talked to. Texas offensive tackle Christian Jones was
fire.
He would have talked to us for an hour. Unfortunately, he had to leave. What an inspirational guy. And by the way, he's playing his way up.
Yeah, for real. And it just his voice just almost cracked. I mean, you could feel it. There's this guy. I love this guy.
Yes.
I don't know where he lands. He could land a division rival. I would still love this guy. You cannot make me not like him. He's a fantastic individual, and his play out there. We'll talk about it, but he's been fantastic out there. Let's get in. We got a big show. We're going to do our wrap. We're going to cover both the American roster and the national roster. We're going to take turns leading the way on each of the teams. We've got our information, our notes here, and our talk from the day. We've got a lot of great stuff. Riz, it's a great show. You ready to go, my man?
Let's do it.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
I'm glad I had something to cut to. I didn't know what to do there. Luckily, I have buttons because my hands are frozen.
As you can tell, I've been wearing sunglasses all week.
If you do that again,
beat your ass.
So just
I love how matter of fact he says that. I will be.
Yeah, and then you'll have to have all right, we'll do without him.
Yeah, we saw some ass beating today.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, right with these.
Kingsley did some of it.
Yes,
Christian did some of it.
Christian was brutal. I mean, we saw some good stuff. Well, yeah, and so did well, we'll get to it. So I don't want to talk too much.
National roster.
Yeah.
Nobody started on the national roster.
Cedric was killer.
Yeah.
Jordan. All right, let's talk. Yeah, let's talk a little about first. It was a beautiful day. It was sunny. It was slathered with sunscreen to protect ourselves so we could do the show. And yesterday, luckily, we're down here for Lions fans because there's nobody else down here, man. It is a barren landscape devoid of Lions content.
Yeah, I mean, all the guys that went out to San Francisco, they just couldn't get here, and so I wish y'all were here, but. We're having fun. We're trying to do our best with it as much as we can. We got you. Yeah, and there are Lions scouts here. John Dorsey is here. There's a couple of other front office admins. I don't believe Chris Spielman is here. If he is, I haven't seen him. Others here, but I have not seen Chris or Brad Holmes is not here. Dan Campbell's not here. I don't believe I've seen any of the coaches. I don't know if they're here or not, but I would assume not because they're doing like their end of the year cleanse type thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, I teased at it yesterday that they were going to have a Brad Holmes end of year press conference that got pushed back.
You can't say when.
No, but I'm
trying to help you here.
It was supposed to be today, and it did get moved. So and they have moved it. Yeah. So. There a number of things came up aside from the fact that Ben Johnson decided to stay. There's other things that are going on in that front office too. So
I don't know if this is going to work with the lighting.
Wow.
I'm 6'1".
That is,
Not 6 foot now, but I used to be 6'1". That's a big man. It's a great interview.
That's Christian.
It's not ours. Thank you, though. We'll take it. We'll be here tomorrow. I'll hold it and look for the owner if you want.
Somebody's trying to give us a very nice piece of photographic equipment.
Man, nice camera.
Very good.
I should have said yes. No. So it was great. Let's go break into it. Let's start first with the national roster. Riz, sorry, I took us on a skew a little bit there, and I think the wrap up information is important. So
one of the things that I did yesterday, I watched primarily the skill position players with the national squad. I saw Quignon, I saw Cam Hart, who we're going to talk to tomorrow. And a lot of the wide receivers, that's a good skill group. Today, I focused primarily on the big guys, but I did. So the way it was situated, the pit where the offensive and defensive linemen were in one end zone to our left, and to their right was the linebackers, tight ends, and running backs doing pass drills and pass protection drills. And for a while, they had it where like they're going here, then they're going here. Then they're going here, and it was really cool because the pacing on it was great.
Yeah, the national roster, the national team, their practice was fantastic. I'll just give a little foreshadowing.
Yeah.
The Americans' practice was worse than any Matt Patricia practice we've ever seen. Holy moly! I don't know what the heck is going on, but 2 days in a row, it was a dog show, man.
It was really, really tough to glean much of anything from that, and that's unfortunate. We're going to talk more about that. But,
yep.
So guys that stood out today. From this one, we'll start with one of the guys that we talked to yesterday, Jackson Powers Johnson, superstar.
We saw him again today.
He remembered us. He came up to us, talked to us.
He watched it. His mom watched it. She loves the show. He loves us. It was
very cool.
He's such a great dude, and like that he had his mom watch it all. These guys are cute, man. They're just still young and not quite.
He got a haircut today.
Yeah. He did.
So he played well again. He did tweak something.
He looked like it. Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't want to talk about it, but he was fine tonight. He is a guy that is getting a ton of love from fans of all teams down here. So it's not just us. We've actually had conversations with a few people like, I think he's going to fall to 29, and some people do, some people don't. So we'll see. I think I need to go back and watch more of his tape. I think I've seen 4 Oregon games this year, and I'm not sure that I focused exclusively on him. There's a lot of guys on that team. He is the best Duck here.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure that everybody would have thought that coming here. So he's to have a very good week.
The problem is we're going to have a hard time seeing him as a Lions pick unless we move up. I
kind of think so too.
He's and his stock has only gone up this week. He's done a spectacular job. I mean, I'll tell you that's I think from us, from an interview perspective, that's one of our steals of the show to have him on because he's going to be drafted.
Yeah, he was really good, and I think we can end any hope of having Quignon Mitchell available at 29 or even 19.
Oh wait, we interviewed him too.
Yeah, he's killing it. He had an interception today, and like he's one of those like he's got buzz now, like with everybody.
Yeah,
because people want to see like you played at Toledo, dude. Like you're playing Ohio, you're playing Ball State. Like do it against better guys. Well, he's Ball State. He's just ripping people. He's doing great. So, unfortunately, I think that fantasy is over. There'll be new ones. One of the guys that I really liked today, I didn't get a chance to focus on him much yesterday, was Laiatu Latu from from UCLA, pass rusher. Really good. Has some injury concerns. This is a guy who had to medically retire. Neck issues. He has been fine. Well, he's been at UCLA. He's been fine here. He's been very open with anybody who asks him about it. We unfortunately have not been able to interview him yet here, but we know people that have talked to him on the field. He's really good. He's got the package too. He can win inside shoulder. He can win outside shoulder. He can play on either side. He can win with power. He bowled somebody to, I believe it was the Kansas offensive lineman. He just like walked him back. And you don't normally see that from a guy of his, he's 6'4", what is he, 6'4", 260 something. He is 263, 261, 6'4", 4.5. And very, very high end, very twitchy. He is a guy that can do a whole lot of damage across from Aiden Hutchinson if he's there. And again, this is a guy who could go in the top 10, but if he doesn't get medically cleared, if there's worries about him from other teams, then he falls. And we know that Brad Holmes doesn't have an aversion to drafting players with pre-existing injury conditions.
Yeah.
Even, yeah. So he was really good today too.
I've got a surprise question for you. If you don't have an answer, that's fine.
Sure.
Roger Rosengarten, tackle from Washington.
Tackle from Washington.
Washington. 8 hours of sleep for 2 nights, my friend. Both of us. What did you think of him today? I only saw a couple.
Very well today.
Yeah, I saw a couple, and he was just, for me, he really stood out.
He's a guy that doesn't always have the best technique or look like he's winning, but he's winning.
He's a bully.
Yes, he is one of those guys that when people are like, getting physical after this, he's always involved. Like, get off me, at the end of a play, or, some guys are like, actually Quinion did this today. He got beaten on a route by Roman Wilson. And at the end of the play, Roman got up and got it in and was in. Quinion was like, good job, bro.
Yeah. That was
That was in the competition at the end of the yeah.
That's
that was
great.
I liked seeing that.
I saw McCaffrey doing that as well.
Yes.
Really good. And it was with Quinion again. As a matter of fact, now that you mentioned it, did you say it was McCaffrey? I'm sorry. It was
Roman
Yep,
Wilson.
Yep. Yeah. And I saw it with McCaffrey, and McCaffrey came up, gave him a pat in the head, and Quinion a pat in the butt.
Yep.
I really loved the interplay with these guys. This is something that I think has changed since it's been like 7 years. We figured out since I came to the first time of the Senior Bowl. These guys get it. These guys get it, that not only are they the same team, but even the guys on the other team could wind up on the same team with them.
Right.
And you think to like high school ball when you would play, your rival school, you hated those guys. You just hated them. I'll fight them in the Taco Bell parking lot. Okay. But it was like, you did not like them. And that carried over, right? You remember that rivalry. These guys, we watched the interview. We got a Texas guy loving on an Oklahoma guy. It's like,
right.
What? But they get it. They get it because they understand that while between the lines, it's one thing. Outside lines, it's different. And we loved it. And we also talk, I'll get into that, but I'll just mention his name really quick.
Rosengarten, though, is a guy he's a late day 2, early day 3 guy. And if you're looking for a guy to be your back, remember, this is a team, they do not have a backup tackle on the roster. Period.
Yep.
You need a backup that can maybe start in a year or two. If Taylor Decker moves on, Panay moves to the left side. Roger is a right tackle only, but he's
6'5", 311.
He's doing pretty well too. And
there's a pop. There's a pop when he blocks. And it's not the defensive player hitting him. He is putting the meat on. Like I said, he's a bully.
He is one of those guys, and you know this from Hank Fraley loves pass blocking aggressively. Like, don't wait for that guy to get to you. Go meet him.
Yep.
And Roger Rosengarten can do that. He did a very good job of that. We have a guy that we're going to talk about on the American team who we interviewed today, who's very good at that too.
Yes.
But yeah, they was good. Latu was good. I'm trying to think who else stood out.
I'm sorry to take you off your game there. That guy just jumped out at me, and I want to make sure we called him out.
Yeah. Actually, Isaiah Adams from Illinois had a lot of pluses on my sheet today. And this is a guy, I'll freely admit, I don't know a lot about him. He was playing primarily right guard today, and he had a lot of wins. Very good at stonewalling a guy who tried to come at him and get up and under him. He was able to anchor. He was able to sink, kept his hands inside, didn't hold, and did pretty well in one-on-one. So this is a guy that I've circled, I'm aware of who he is, and I have seen him play, but it's not fresh in my mind. So that's the guy that I'm going to go back. And for a lot of the guys that are, he's probably a day 3 guy, maybe even an undrafted free agent. Their goal here is to hey, I'm going to show something that maybe I haven't, that you didn't catch your eye before. And he's done that. So I applaud him for that, because now I'm going to be I kind of need to watch more of that guy. Illinois also has a defensive lineman here today who they actually went up against each other in a couple of reps. That was a little awkward, but they're doing well. The LSU guys are the same. They had to go up against one another on the other team. We got to bring up Dylan Laube.
Yeah.
New Hampshire
We almost had
back.
We almost had him as an interview, but time got in the way. What a story, man.
He's really, really fast, really fast. And if you want to you want a good picture of how good he is, watch the Central Michigan game. And we were talking with, who were we talking with? It was talking about his receipt. He runs wide receiver routes out of the backfield. The Central Michigan game, he caught 12 passes and gained over 200 yards in that game. New Hampshire, that's an FCS school, not noted for their football. Right. And they almost pulled that upset off in Mount Pleasant. He's really fast right away. Yeah. You saw it as a punt returner today and yesterday. He's got something, man. He's going to play in the league for a while. It's not like the Lions need a running back, but
God, if they did, he'd be your guy, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's good. If you liked Zach Zenner, but you wanted him to be faster,
yeah,
well, Labe's your guy. He's good. Isaiah Johnson from South Dakota State is actually a pretty good running back too. He runs a little upright. Just to close out the running backs, Kamani Vidal from Troy. Really, really good. He ran a Texas route today, and if you wouldn't have told me that it was him, I would have sworn it was Jahmyr Gibbs running the route. Like, he angled it, caught it, instant acceleration. He's not that top end fast, but he can go. And he has a lot of really good tape at Troy. So, again, we're probably not where we're looking, but those are some of the guys that caught my eye from that. Linebackers, there's a lot of buzz about Peyton Wilson, North Carolina State. Sorry. Sorry, Peyton. Don't mean to dog you like that. I'm not seeing it. And some of that is the fact that they're not live tackling, and that's what he's known for, is his tackling. Coverage, I don't know, man. Like, he got beat on he got beat on a wheel route today. And a tight end wheeled around to the outside. We've seen Brock Wright do this. We've seen Salem Porter do this. He was lost. Like, he could not catch up. And it's not like Laube. It wasn't Laube either. It was, I got to look it up, and I can't read these things. Where's he at? Oh, it was Davis. I say Davis. So yeah. Oh. The range, you see the range, but I will say this: if you think he's the replacement for Alex Anzalone, you're going to dislike the same things in him that you dislike in Alex Anzalone.
Oh, interesting.
So and he's
is Alex Anzalone your comp?
He's not that. I don't think he's that high end, honestly. And he's got a laundry list of injury issues. I think he's 20. I believe he's 24 years old as well. But he's missed seasons, plural, with injuries. So you can't get over over the course of time. So yeah,
there you go.
So yeah, that's the guy that I get asked about a lot, and I'm not seeing it. Doesn't mean I know there are other people here that are fans of him. We're going to talk about one on the American team where there's a lot of people that are like, oh, this guy's like the best receiver here, and I'm like, I don't see it. You know what I'm talking about too. Yeah. I'm trying to think anybody else that stood out today on this roster. I got to give him a little bit of credit. I dogged the punter yesterday, Iowa's punter, because he had a couple of really bad shanks. He did not get to live kick much. They were using the jugs machine primarily, but when he did kick, he was good today. So good for you.
He did a punter, right? No, and he's typically a good punter. He just did not. He was like, oh man, like two in a row at one point.
Oh, let's talk a little bit about the quarterbacks. The Lions are obviously not in the market for a quarterback, but it's a Senior Bowl practice show. People want to hear about quarterbacks. They were not good today. And this is the roster that has Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. on it. Yep. And it was windy today, and that was a problem. Sam Hartman is the other quarterback. Sam made a couple of pretty nice throws today, actually. Penix
gorgeous too.
Yes, Sam Hartman is beautiful. You walk out, you really do think you're looking at a movie star. Yeah. He's that good. But Nix struggled when pressure got up on him. He's one of those guys, when he gets pressure, his natural instinct is to retreat and throw it off of his back foot. And in the wind today, it wasn't working. And Penix, he needs to throw with better arc. He's got arm strength. He's got touch. He can make the anticipate. Get a little loft on it, dude, because you're throwing it where it makes it difficult for guys to catch it. And he had a lot of, let's go back in time, Chris, to when I first joined this podcast. So you asked me, is Matthew Stafford the reason why the Lions have all the drops?
Yeah.
There was some of that with Penix today, and I felt it.
Yeah.
Because there were balls bouncing off hands, and I would honestly put those on the quarterback, but I would put those on the receiver because they weren't put where and when they needed to be in the route, and that was on the quarterback today. So not a great day for him.
I am swallowing so many jokes. Thank you so much just for continuing. All right. Any other balls on people's hands that you would like to talk about, or are there any other players you'd like to talk about?
Oh, tight ends. We interviewed A.J. Barner from Michigan this morning. He
what a great kid.
He made a great catch. Unfortunately, he didn't do a lot else today. And if you are a Brevin Spann Ford fan, you're not going to want to read what I write. He's just whatever the opposite of Twitch is. That's him.
Tremor.
he really does remind me of Michael Roberts, but smaller.
Oh, man.
And he doesn't block. So that's what you get in there.
There's your upside.
Yeah. The other side, though, Torrey Johnson from Penn State was very good today. Very good today. He made a couple of very nice catches along the sideline where he got both feet down. And that has been a point of emphasis for all the receivers here. You've heard it yelled, not on the national team, but on the American team, like 2 feet, 2 feet, a couple times, because that's again, it's a rule change. Like, you don't have to get 2 down in college. You have to get 2 down in the pros. And it was just a reminder from the coach, who I think is probably the only functional coach on the American roster. Get your feet down.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Let's look American now.
Das Amerikaner.
I can take a nap like we did at practice. Oh my God.
You took a nap at practice?
I almost did.
That's why I'm doing the national or the American team.
Well, the American team darn near put everybody to sleep.
Holy bazoingas. This was the worst practice. Now, I will tell you, and you'll hear my analysis here. I spent my time in the pit. The pit was well done. Like, it was, the action was nonstop. It was a lot of the one-on-ones. I got to study the guys. I got to get repeat reps. I got to just mark, track. And I got a lot of data on the offensive and defensive line guys, right? Which is what you do there. I love that. I mean, last year, I absolutely fell in love sitting in the pit. Yesterday, I forced myself to watch skill players all day, but it was like, right, I fell in and I love it there. These guys, watching line play is becoming one of my favorite parts of the sport. Absolutely.
And seeing the intricacies in how guys attack it.
These guys are different cats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The personality is completely different. I just love what these dudes are made of. So with that being said, let me start out with the quarterbacks.
I'm curious, who was your best quarterback on this roster today?
I know that you loved Carter Bradley.
Yes.
I know you did. And he had some really, really nice
throws. He
flows.
made the best throw of any quarterback on either day today. He threw a seed through 3 defenders to a guy on the dead run, and he caught it.
Yep.
That was the best play of either day of practice.
Yep.
Fantastic throw. And by the way, a lot of people were like, he's only here because he went here. We practices are at the University of South Alabama. That's where he went.
There's 90 guys on that team, right? I mean, it's like a lot of guys went here.
Yeah.
He
was good today.
I wanted Joe Milton to be the guy because I really like Joe Milton. I think he's got a lot of skill. He's just not. He's not showing it here.
He's physically ridiculous. Oh my God. 6'5", 235, can throw very easily.
But just doesn't read. I have him let's see. He doesn't. So he called the play, lined everybody up, and then went back and asked about the play again. He was confused at what play he had called, right? So the head in the book kind of thing, I'm like worried about that a little bit. And then
they just the place on around us here. That was so weird.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. And he has some really great throw. He has a nice hard ball, right? I mean,
he's got a fastball.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if he's got the changeup.
No.
Yeah, and the other thing with this roster was, especially during the team period, I'm not sure they threw the ball more than 10 yards down the field once.
Yep.
In team. Everything was screen or designed quick out.
That I'll get to that. Yeah, it was a bullet is the word I had.
That is not Joe Milton's game.
No,
not at all.
So I'll go to Spencer Rattler. Okay, and because I want to talk about this, and then I want to talk about more broadly the quarterback play and what we saw in that reason. Really good pocket presence. He could feel the pressure.
Yes.
He moved around. I was very impressed with what he did today, and he needed it. I'll talk that about that a little bit. Good decision making. Solid decisions to when to run, quick, got to speed, found the holes, made good decisions across the board. Had decent balls that he threw. Nothing particularly spectacular, but nothing to hurt him. I don't think anything hurt him, but other than maybe not being spectacular, right? And then I want to allude then to really quick what I saw. Michael Pratt, just nothing. Too bad throws, almost intercepted. Just
he did get picked off once or twice. Had another one that got dropped. Yeah, it was
not it. But he did push-ups. He did push-ups for it. So I mean, he did his part. But I want to talk about the thing that messed with these quarterbacks, and I think it's actually a good thing. The offensive line in the 11-11s could not block the defense for the life of them. And it was egregiously bad. The quarterbacks were under pressure all the time, which is why it stood out for Rattler, right? Because he could move, he could feel the pressure. They were always under pressure. It seemed like at least 3 out of 4 plays, and he was able to feel it. He was able to move, find a hole. If he had to get in the space of his feet, he did. He could release the ball if he had to. Really, really good stuff. Milton sacked twice. Just didn't seem to have.
Milton also had another one where he was going to get like legitimately walloped, and he just like threw it
close against the ground.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's intentional grounding.
And he walked away angry.
Yeah.
Dude, can you block for me, please? The first day, the American roster, I watched the big dudes, the offensive and defensive linemen, and that day, like the tackles were pretty good, and the tackles again are better there than the interior line play on that team.
Yep.
Woof. Yep. And some of that is. Some of the defensive linemen interior, we talked to one of them today. We like him a lot. You will like him a lot. Watch the interview with Jordan Jefferson from LSU. He gave the best answer.
I'll talk about him in a minute.
Okay. I don't want to spoil it for you, but that was.
I want to hit Ray Davis, the running back, really quick.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
He's good.
My guy has a burst.
Yes.
He can find a hole while the line's collapsing around him, and he can go, and he is fast. Yeah, please. That'd be great. Coke's perfect, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, God. Rock, man.
Our man from WNSP, right next door here.
Your mobile sports leader. Go. WNSP 100.5. Okay, yeah. So Ray Davis just was really impressive out there from all the running backs. A guy that probably doesn't get a lot of press, I don't feel like, but he absolutely put his name on the board.
Did well in the pass protection drill today, too, which the linebackers and running backs and tight ends went through today, and he did very well. Actually, most of the running backs did well. The linebackers were not good. This is not a group that you're necessarily going to get your blitzers out of.
Are you walking ahead of me on my team?
Oh, a little bit. Sorry.
All right.
Go ahead.
I want to get to the offensive line here. I want to talk about what they did individual drills, okay? Because as a team, there's 5 guys. We talked to them, and it was I'm going to get this here really quick. Sorry. Jordan Jefferson. Yeah. No, it wasn't George Jefferson. It was Christian. It was Christian Jones.
Jones.
He was in an interview before us. I wanted to get this out of him, but he didn't do it. But he talked about what it's like for 5 guys from different places to come together. The 5 fingers have to work and create a fist. Right. That was the thing. I was like, oh, that's a really good way to put it. Right. Yeah. These guys individually were very talented, but they couldn't make a fist. They looked like Calvin Johnson's hands. That's basically what you had with those.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Because they are talented guys. They're just not meshing together. That's a great. I like that. That's very accurate.
Thank you. Bo Limmer from Arkansas had some really good play out there. Really liked what we saw from him. Strong 3 pluses. I didn't see him get beat, but it was going fast. It was like rep, and when I looked down to get myself, the next rep's running, I just catch it, and I didn't catch the numbers and move. Like, it was fast, and the rest of practice sucked, right? But working in the pit was awesome. It was awesome. So Bo Limmer,
center from Arkansas, walked around wearing just an Arkansas shirt. Everybody else, so we're here at the media center. They had media day this afternoon. which is in the ballroom behind us where all the players got to talk to all the media. And he was the only guy now not wearing his official licensed Senior Bowl stuff.
Reese's University,
Yeah.
with their name on the back.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool hoodies. Yeah, he's just walking around in an Arkansas shirt and like cut off sweatpants.
Actually, I'm going to find out from Molly if I can get one of those Reese's Universities. Those are awesome. Those are awesome.
Well, we can't get any Reese's, so maybe they can give us some swag.
They've got some extra shirts. I know they do. And they're all big sizes. All right, Tyler Guyton.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma. But
Okay.
he had a couple, I had him down for a good play. I want to hit really quick, Charles Turner. Great reset out of him. But the problem is he would have to reset 3 times in a rep. No, there's 2 things about this, right? He would reset and blam, and then he would be back and reset and blam, and it was just like he was like going down pegs down a board, like chang, dang. Now, when he reset, he hit the defensive player back enough so that he had time to reset, but he still was moving backward. I think he's susceptible from an NFL level bull rush, right? He could really get beat up in that way, but he is an absolute grinder out there. And, the other part is when his rep was over, he ran back to his position on the line, ready to go. A lot of intensity, a lot of fire there. So he's one of those guys that he doesn't stop. And he gives the extra bit to show that he gives a shit. And there's guys here that just do what they're supposed to and then walk away. It's guys like that they show you how much they care. Yeah. Right? They're going the extra mile. So I like that out of him. He's got to work. I mean, he's susceptible to that. Christian Jones, all I have is 4 pluses and a minus. He lost one that you talked about, 1 rep. He's a beast. He's a bully. He moves people where he wants them. It is fantastic to watch him, and he's a big fella. I'll tweet out the picture of him and I. I'm between 6 foot and 6'1", and I think my head's up to his teeth. I mean, he is a giant.
He's a very large man, and one of the things that he's a little under the radar from a draft perspective, and we learned why. He didn't start playing football until he was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah,
he was a soccer guy. He was their kicker. Yeah. He's 6'7", like 350 pounds. Yeah. And he was their kicker.
Yeah.
He had a great story about that too. So please watch that. That was so good.
If there's one that you watch, Christian Jones is worth it. His parents' story coming out. It's
very good.
Man.
But he's played very well. I watched the skill position players primarily on the American roster today for the very little action that they did. This was bad. As I tweeted out during the practice, I've been to dressage, if you know what dressage is. I've been to meets with the wife, that were more exciting and more fast-paced than this.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what dressage is, look it up. Watch about 30 seconds of it, and you'll know the hellish nightmare that I spent with 2 days in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, watching a dressage.
Okay. Well, first off, you're in Cuyahoga Falls. You'd rather swim in the Cuyahoga River. All right.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, this was bad, and everybody, that was the talk of like the entire practice, and it was very reminiscent of like there was just no energy, and that comes from the coaches, and the coaches, other than the wide receivers coach who was trying his best to get the guys fired up and everything. There just wasn't any energy. There wasn't any urgency to the practice, to the reps at all. And that falls on the coach. Their head coach is Jeff Ulbrich from the New York Jets. And I think it's safe to say that he probably won't be getting many looks out of that. Unfortunately, sorry, Jeff, but come on, dude. Like, moving on. It was rough. Yeah. So I watched the position drills. They only did, I want to say, I think each guy got 4 reps of one-on-one offense versus defense. At wide receiver versus cornerback, and safety versus wide receiver tight end. It's rough, man. The wide receivers were not good today. Jamari Thrash got open great once. Throw went way over his head. Had another one. He wasn't open. Throw was perfect. Went through his hands. And he's probably the best wide receiver on this team. And I know that people are thinking, Ladd McConkey. Chris, I'll let you talk about our guy, Ladd.
Well, I was going to finish my offensive line here, but Ladd McConkey, we may talk to him tomorrow. He seems like a nice guy. It seems like there's something wrong. the last half of practice, like when they did the 11-on-11s, he never saw the field.
It's true.
I wonder if there's something bothering him or something tweaked or something going on there. But when he has played, he is not flashed at all.
He's good for a splash play here and there, but the rudimentary plays aren't there.
Yeah, and the fundamentals.
Yeah.
All
right, go back to your line. Sorry, I had to interrupt you. That's my bad.
Andrew Rame's guy from Oklahoma, offensive line, scrappy dude, didn't have a great day. And kind of what I saw, and there's two arrows, one next to height, one next to weight. Says he's 6'3", but he plays way shorter than that. Says he's 315, he plays way heavier than that. He's a bowling ball. I think how he found his way is that scrappiness. I just didn't see the technical skills in the line that I'd expect from a guy in his position. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go too much into it. Everyone has bad days. We'll watch him and see what happens tomorrow. Javon Foster from Missouri had a couple of really good reps out there today. Strong kid.
He did not have a great day on Tuesday, so it's good to hear that because I didn't watch a lot of that. I'll bring up one guy that I didn't watch a lot of the pit, but a couple of times that I looked over there. Christian Haynes from UConn had some wins.
Yep.
And he needed those. Did he get any pluses or minuses from you?
I'm sorry, what was the name of it?
Christian Haynes from UConn. He's number 50.
Nothing. No.
Okay.
So, yeah, UConn didn't show well today. Okay. The Connecticut Hellmans on defense and offense were just not.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going to leave those. As a matter of fact, if I look one more time.
I'm mentally replaying it.
Yes.
He would have earned 1+ on one of the plays that I watched.
I'll talk about it in a minute, but he also had his helmet removed.
Yes, he did.
But I'll talk about that.
He did.
So yeah, there we go. That's the offensive line. Brandon Coleman from TCU didn't look great. He did have a win out there. I want to go to the defensive line really quick. McKinley Jackson, Texas A&M, chippy guy.
Yes.
Chippy guy. He has a little bit of fire in there, and he had some good wins. He looked good. He had the right attitude, and I think it's a guy that's going to do well with some solid coach.
He plays with snarl.
Yeah, for sure. Tavondre Sweat. I've asked a couple of people, is he at all related? And everyone says, I don't think so. He's from Texas as well. He's got nothing but pluses. He was a freaking man amongst boys. He's a giant, bro. And oh, by the way, his weight is the only one that's empty on here. He broke the freaking scale trying to get weighed up. He's 6'4".
It's true. You can see it. It's right there. He's the blank line.
He's a monster. And look, I don't want to diss on the offensive line there, but he had his way with every single one that he played against. He just threw them apart. I didn't, in the 11-11s, get enough time because I was now starting to watch skill positions. I didn't pay attention enough to see if it was him that was the disruptive force all the time. But I did notice there was times when he wasn't on the field. So as I'm thinking through it here, it wasn't all him. But he just tore everybody a new one every time he was out there. He's mean. He's strong. The pop reverberates through Hancock Whitney when he hits a player. He has the fire. I'm interested to see what he does at the combine, and I got to watch tape on this guy because he looked fantastic out there.
Yeah, and what he does, he's not a speed rusher. He's not like Aleem, where he's like trying to get through a gap or anything like that. And this guy's a nose tackle, and one of the drills that they do is that they will have a 2-on a double team drill, and he's got to stand up against it, and he does a very good job of understanding how to leverage the contact from one lineman off of another and use that to his advantage as balance. Because he's a big guy and he plays fairly upright, but he's really good at that, at avoiding the double team, being able to, bless you, Chris, to withstand it and then also like try and go make a play. Now he does not have lateral range.
Yes.
At all.
No.
None.
Yep.
He is on train tracks in a phone booth.
Yeah.
But he wins that.
Yep.
Very well.
Yep. So there could be something there.
Yeah.
The next guy I want to talk about is Jordan Jefferson, last of the defensive line. was just a beast. He's got play that, like, he's a nasty player. Now, there was an incident. We were alluded to it earlier. Christian Haynes and him had a rep together. And Jordan came in, his hands were in the face mask up under it for the entirety of the rep. He came in, boom, and he wound up high. And Christian's head was getting yanked back. Finally, the whistle blew and he'd had enough. And Christian took Jordan's helmet, his face mask, and grabbed it and pulled on it. And Jordan lost it, man. He took a hold of that Christian's helmet and ripped it off his head and swung it. And I'm telling you, he was seconds away from not having a career because he was coming like he was going to take his head off. And then he just dropped the helmet and turned around and went back, had some coach. We talk about it with him in the interview today.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, I expected an excuse or something, like whatever. I believe what he said. I genuinely believe what he said. And looking him in the eye when he was telling, the story, it hasn't happened before. It, got to him that time. I believe him. I think he's a guy that in the moment was very, very emotional and doing everything to show himself and as good at his best. And he got a guy there that, what he was doing to start that, it wasn't right, but it happens sometimes when you start a block.
Yeah.
The other guy's kind of retaliation was, I don't know if he thought it was trying to hurt him or whatever. I don't know if he knew kind of what was going on, but it was crazy. But he owned it and he took it and he handled it very well. So I'm not a dirty player liker. I wouldn't call him a dirty player. I would say Jordan Jefferson has the dog in him. That's what I would say. And he's the kind of guy, if I'm a Detroit Lion and I talk about grit and I talk about taking kneecaps and I talk about all the stuff that we want from our defensive line, and we want to beat those, we want to be the bullies in those trenches. He's a guy that may get you there.
I asked him, give me the elevator pitch on what you are. And he said, you will never run through the A gap ever. Just deadpanned it like that. Like, oh shit, we got a player here. Yeah. Like this guy knows what's up.
You just hit the button. You didn't even get the thing start moving, and his elevator speech is done.
Yeah. Okay. And this guy,
open door open.
He's a middle round pick, whether he's like, third round, fourth round, fifth round. Some of that depends on testing and interview. I will tell you, I think he's going to interview very well. Yeah. As candid as he was, and as like making eye contact, making sure that we understood his message.
Yeah.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Very good communicator.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the range where you want your nose tackle to come from. And he's happy being a nose tackle.
Yeah.
So that is a need on the team. So, we have to keep stressing this. And I know our loyal, especially the people that are in the Patreon Slack, they understand that there's more than one round to a draft. But there's a lot of casual fans that only ever really care about the first round, the first couple rounds. And one of the reasons why this team is good is because the guys that have been taken later than that are contributing and doing things. And he's a guy that I can see
fitting them mold.
Specifically, I can see Aaron Glenn liking him to be, that's my nose.
Yeah.
Because they need that. Like Isaiah Buggs just didn't work out. Benito Jones is okay. So we need somebody to come in and give Benito some time, split that role with him.
Yeah.
And, he gives some very good answers. And he's, as I told him in the interview, when he hits you because you can hear it.
Yep. It reverberates.
Very heavy hands, he gets his shoulders back and cocks them and goes in really effectively.
Yeah.
Cool to watch.
Spectacular.
Player.
Like him a lot. Let's see that little fight was really something. Good defensive class. I don't think it's as good as last year overall, but they had constant pressure. Constant pressure disrupted the offense, and it made, like I said, made it difficult to see. And that's, I think, because when McConkey was on the field, back to the question you asked earlier, made it hard because McConkey is not running short routes. He was an outside guy lining up. They just never got the chance to get the ball to him.
Yeah.
Just didn't, because they were always dancing for their life. So interesting stuff. Good day for a lot of guys.
I do want to highlight a couple of defensive backs who did well.
Sure.
And now I can't read my rating or their rating. Chris Abrams-Drain, one of my favorite guys coming in here. very good in the positional drills. And so again, there wasn't a lot of offense versus defense, but they were doing drills that tested your hip flip and your ability to backpedal and get out of it and go in either direction and pick off a ball. And he was the best player at that.
Yep.
And this is a guy who has played outside. He's played in the slot. He is a exceptionally intelligent guy, good student in the classroom. You know that means something to the Lions, so keep an eye on him. He's only 173 pounds, which scares the crap out of me because I thought he was like 185.
Yep.
But he played well. DJ James from Auburn had an interception today.
He's a small kid, though.
He is small, but he knows how to undercut routes. He has very, very specific niche. Undercutting routes in trail coverage on slot receivers. He's really, really good at that. Like it might be a niche skill, but he's a guy you're looking at. He's a 5th rounder, 6th rounder, more than likely at his size. I think he's 170, 171.
Nah.
He can hit though. Like I've seen him tackle. He is the guy who got burned in the Alabama game at the end. So that might be how you know that name. He did very well today when they tried to throw a short, and that's pretty much all they tried to do.
That's all they could. That's all they could do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a look at today's practice. Had some great interviews tomorrow morning, and then they'll drop. We've been recording these and having them uploaded as the day goes on, so you can get a good span of time to watch these things throughout the day while you're working, while you're doing your other stuff. But a ton more player interviews. May have Joe Milton tomorrow. Who are some of the other guys we're talking about having tomorrow?
We're gonna have Dylan Laube. We're gonna have Cam Hart, who has been very good, cornerback from Notre Dame. He is a Lions type of player. So if you want to do a little pre-work, and if you're sitting at home tonight and not doing anything, and with on your video game controller, watch a little bit of the highlights of Cam Hart, because he's had a very good week, has played his way up, and he is the style of outside corner that AG will like, or at least that I think AG will like. And so we're hopeful to talk to him tomorrow. Our girl Daisy's going to set us up, hopefully. He's one that's interesting to me. We have put out flyers for a couple of other people. We'll see if they happen.
I just added Ricky Pearsall to the list. He's an interesting cat out there.
He made my notes today for blocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's always.
He looked great yesterday in catching, right?
Yeah.
Watching the skill positions yesterday. He was a guy that was, he looked really good, solid hands. Had a couple times he slipped on the turf, but overall looked
he did,
good.
didn't he?
Yeah. Overall looked really good. And then today, the blocking, right? I mean, he's a cat that I think he's gonna make it in the NFL. It's where does he land and how does he do?
Yeah. And there's a guy that if you're looking for your Josh Reynolds replacement as a number 3, number 4 wide receiver, and you take in the 4th or 5th round, that's Ricky Pearsall.
And he has the potential. His ceiling is such that he could be a heck of a lot more than that, but you can't count on it.
Right. Yeah. So that's, and he also has special teams experience, a lot of special teams experience, and has highlighted that. So there's things to like about him. There's a lot of guys here that are the middle round, late round guys who don't get enough attention, who have stood out to me as people like I'm trying to look from a general perspective. I'm also trying to look through like Lions glasses. That's why I have the sunburn. Let me put the Lions glasses on. There we go. Covers my sunburn too. There's a lot of guys that I think the Lions will like more than other teams, and that there are guys that appeal to Detroit more than they will appeal to other teams and fans of other teams. There are also some guys here that are going to appeal a lot to other teams that the Lions just, he's not cut from that cloth. And we don't want to speak ill about them while we're here because they could hurt us. Not that they would, but you want to see the full week of practice. There's 1 day of practice left. They got another chance to prove themselves. Maybe they've gotten a slow start. Maybe they rebound nicely at the end. That happens. That happens every year. We talk about that every year. But there are some guys that I thought, I had kind of mentally penciled in as like, this guy could be a Lion. And I'm like, I don't think so anymore. And we'll cover those probably in the wrap tomorrow.
Yeah.
But there's a few of them that are like that. But yeah, and the other thing, I have to bring this up. I met Sam Laporta's high school geography teacher and middle school track coach today. Mr. Bradley, it was a pleasure sitting next to you, talking to you for a while. It was great. thank you for going down, and thank you for keeping me awake through a really boring practice. And you know what I'm talking about. But he has some really good Sam Laporta stories. It was really cool to learn more about Sam Laporta's like background and everything. So that was cool. So thank you for that, sir. That was good.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm going to go back to your reference to the wrap. It is time to wrap, Riz.
Yep.
We've got a Loda burger to get. You've got a Sugar Rush burger to get. You got to get your donut encrusted buns.
It's a double bacon cheeseburger with barbecue sauce slathered all over it, slapped between 2 glazed donuts. That's dinner tonight, and it will be breakfast and lunch tomorrow too. But that's all the calories I can use.
I didn't eat my key lime pie last night. It's in my fridge waiting for me.
That was my breakfast this morning.
I should have done that. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. Oh, I hate myself. It's breakfast tomorrow. Man, Loda, can't wait. Great time. Great beer. What a selection.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. All right. With that, we're going to call it a show. Don't forget about us on Patreon, patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. If you join the Patreon for $5 or more a month, you get access to the wonderful, sexy Slack chat with the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet. It absolutely is. Great people, great conversations going on. A lot of insider stuff going with the Senior Bowl we're talking about.
There's a train going right below us right now.
That could be. Either that or I've got really bad gas. So yeah, you get better jokes than that in the Slack. Just $5 a month, though. You got to do at least $5 in the Patreon. So patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. You can donate less if you just like to support the show and want to support a lower amount. We appreciate that very, very much. You get access to the Discord, which isn't as active, but if a group of the people that are in the dollar range want to make the Discord active and take part, thank you, man. Do for it. Go for it. It's awesome. Follow us on Twitter at DET Lions Podcast, DET Lions Podcast, and Hefe Risden at Jeff Risden there. You can listen to his train ride farts and DET Lions Podcast, pants free all the time on Twitter, and you get to see stuff going on as it goes on through the day. Also, be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Subscribe to the podcast so we can do what?
I get to come into your ear holes automatically.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions Podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, and no problems, because we've got Ben Johnson. And we've got a really bright future in the draft. There's a lot of great talent that can help the Detroit Lions. We'll meet them and talk to them tomorrow morning. Check us out. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, this is your Detroit Lions and Reddit.